episode of Too Wise to Waste, a program where we discuss the environmental issues that we're facing today. On the last episode, we were talking to Mr. Mbaisa, and he was telling us about some of the issues that are affecting the environment today. We spoke about how these issues are also affecting the youth. And one of the main issues that we spoke about was the issue of Pomona, a landfill which has become the breeding space for greenhouse gases, contributing to land degradation and pollution of our precious environment. I am your host, Shumirayi, and today I have Mr. Cliff Chivanga, who is the head of the projects department in the Zimbabwe Sunshine Group. Mr. Chivanga, welcome to the program.
Pleasure having me here.
Thank you. I'd like to ask, in your department, what are you doing in order to achieve this goal of attaining a safe and healthy environment for all?
Okay. Thank you, Shumi, for inviting me to this program. As Zimbabwe Sunshine Group, I think we have quite a number of key research areas that we are focusing on as an organization. So we have divided our work into three categories, where we have the integrated solid waste management, and we also have livelihood support program, and we have the awareness campaign program. All these initiatives, the key research areas, they're actually aimed at making sure that we push for ecological civilization among Zimbabwean citizens and African citizens at large. But I think it's very important for us to understand one of the fundamental issues that are affecting our country at large, which is the issue of waste management. I think as an organization we have been in existence for quite a time, and we have been doing quite a number of projects ranging from cleanup campaigns, national cleanup campaigns, and we then moved from cleanup campaigns after realizing that, as you know, cleanup campaigns are not sustainable. It's mainly PR stunts that people, and corporates do, but they're not quite sustainable. So what we then moved to say, how then can we come up with a program of action which is more integrated in terms of this approach. So what we then did is we came up with an integrated solid waste management program for institutions, for communities, and for schools. So all our work that we are doing at the moment, we are concentrating mainly on schools, institutions, and the community at large. So we have quite a number of projects that we are doing, which is one, the community waste program that we are actually doing with quite a number of communities. And the flagship program is happening in Mavuku. And we have an institutional solid waste management program we're doing with the Zimbabwe Agricultural Society, where we also have quite a number of activities happening there. So as an organization, we are trying to do a lot of things around waste management as an intervention.
All right, Mr. Cliff, you mentioned quite a number of things there. But with the projects that you've spoken about, you talked about the integrated solid waste management system that you started.
Yes.
How effective has it been? And when did you start it, and can you measure its effectiveness? And how do you think, in terms of its sustainability, where it's going, how do you see the project?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. I can safely say that as an organization, we've been running a pilot project at Harare Agricultural Society, like I mentioned earlier on. The way we've structured this program is that we said we cannot go all out to say we are targeting a province to implement this project, because there are so many dynamics involved in waste management. It's quite a complicated industry, to say the least. But in terms of the way we structured the program, we said let's implement a pilot project with a school in Harare, and we implement a pilot project with an institution, and we identified the Zimbabwe Agricultural Society, the Harare Showgrounds, as a model for a city, because you look at the kind of traffic that you have at the Agricultural Society annually. They have more than 2 million visitors that comes to the Agricultural Society. They have so many restaurants that produce unbelievable amounts of waste, weekly, daily. So we then say look, I think it's important for us to go and do a waste audit at the showgrounds, because it is imperative, for us to understand what are the streams of waste that are generated from a particular point or source. Then after understanding the streams of waste, that is waste characterization, we then understand in terms of what are the current waste management plans that they are implementing as an institution. So we identified all those things. And after realizing the gaps, we then said, okay, this is what we are going to do. Let's draft a program of action which aims at making sure that we, one, train all the tenants at the agricultural society. We train them in terms of how to reduce the amount of waste that they're producing, one, which is one of the critical components of integrated solid waste management. Then secondly, we then say, after reducing, let's train them how to reuse the products, the post-packaging materials that they are getting from these products and services that they're having. Then after doing that, we then realize, okay, we'll still have some streams of waste that are not going to be used. So in terms of the biodegradables and other different streams of waste, we then said, okay, let's engage a school where we can take all the biodegradable waste and give them for free. So that instead of taking waste and empower a dump site, for us we see people taking waste to dump sites. It's actually disempowering people and empowering dump sites, because we believe there's a lot of value in that waste. And if we look at biodegradables that we are taking from agricultural society, about 2,000 kgs a week to Roosevelt School, it's something that is now helping them to have their energy. We are feeding a biodigester. At the end of the day, they get the energy. So in terms of this project, sustainability, you spoke about sustainability. Yes. We are generating income from this project. One, by providing a service to this Zimbabwe Agricultural Society of effective waste management. Secondly, we weigh the amount of waste. We gather that baseline data in terms of what are they generating daily, what are they generating weekly, so that they can have proper forward planning in terms of waste management. Then also, we then make sure that all the recyclables that we are getting from the Agricultural Society, they go for forward integration or value addition, value extraction, so that this project can, in the near future, should be self-sustaining. And for your information, we have not received any kind of funding for us for this project to actually be implemented. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for that. I'd also like to ask you about, since you, the organization, works with young people, how are you as an organization working with young people in order to achieve the long-term goal of having a clean environment?
Okay, young people, they're very special constituents for us as also young people. We believe that as young people, we are the energy of today. And we should make sure that we engage as many young people as possible. So in that drive, we have managed to coordinate communities, young people in different communities. For example, in Mabuku, I think in all the provinces in Zimbabwe, we have a constituency of young people who are active members, who are participating in their small ways in the different communities. But what we do is we train these young, we identify environmental hobbyists, we identify environmentalists, people who have got a passion for the environment. We bring them on board. Then we give them basic training on basic fundamentals of integrated solid waste management. Then when we empower them with this knowledge and skills, then we try to identify opportunities where we can engage these young people from time to time. For example, we do some waste recovery activities during your national events, major events around Zimbabwe, like the recent Independence Day, where we had more than 40 young people participating in that program, where they were doing waste separation at source, where we are saying we don't want to see people taking waste to Pomona. So for us to reduce the amount of waste that goes to Pomona, every event becomes an opportunity for us. Every event becomes a catchment area for us to say, let's mobilize these young people, let them come in, let them do waste separation at source, so that we reduce that waste that's supposed to go to Pomona. At the end of the day, we are extracting value at that source. So we are engaging young people at different levels. The first level, which is the level where we are training, just capacitating them to work in their various communities, to work on quite a number of recycling projects, to make some energy cakes, where they are now selling these energy cakes in communities. And also, we then say, let's engage them in waste recovery, where they get a little bit of funding, incentives, so that they can also pay for their school fees and things like that. So I think, in a nutshell, that's how we are engaging young people in our programs.
Okay, Mr. Chivanga, sorry, taking you back a little bit on what you said about the agricultural show and how you're trying to educate people who come to the agricultural show. My question is, how then do you intend on educating the other people out there in the other communities? I understand you spoke about how you're reaching out to schools as well, but my other question is, if you're reaching out to all these people, how then do we remain with huge amounts of waste in our cities and in our communities?
Okay, I think it's a very interesting argument that you're raising there. I think when we're starting the program, I indicated that this is a pilot project that we are implementing. But now we're at that stage where we are saying we need now to scale up this project. There are development partners that are actually coming on board right now that are willing to see this project now being taken to another level. But obviously, I think you understand that if you look at the amount of waste generation in terms of waste generation per capita, you're looking at Harare alone, you will see that the amount of waste that is being generated and the streams of waste, they're changing, almost, more often. But at the end of the day, in terms of reaching out to people, we are quite happy that there is now a show like yours, where, we have been having challenges actually to have even a radio station that would invite you and embrace you to say, come and speak about environmental issues. Because to everyone, it seems environmental issues are a secondary issue. But we are quite happy and we are quite warm to be coming to a show like this, where you are just talking about environmental issues and prioritizing that. So, but we really appreciate that. But in terms of the impact, I think you are going to see that there are other players that are also playing a role, like your Environment Management Agency. We are working with them. We are working together, and to make sure that we now have a program of action where we are now scaling up this initiative, where we can even have our drive-in drop-off centers around Zimbabwe, where people are coming and just dropping off their waste. So the research that we've been doing, it has shown us that it is possible. People are willing to come and deposit their waste. By the way, we are going to make sure that we also even scale up the awareness campaigns. We are going to see quite a number of things, and we are going to be nagging you to invite us more often into this program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Chivanga. Some interesting initiatives. We really do hope for the best for you and your organization, and we really do hope that more people come on board in order to engage in some of these projects so that we can save our environment. Thank you so much for being on the program. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Too Wise to Waste. On the next episode, we will have an energy expert coming to talk to us about the relationship and the integration between waste and energy. So, from me, Shumirayi, it's bye for now.